Hello, my name is Veronica Morales, and today we're going to be talking about production and purification of inulases. Every year, tons of agave bagasse and leaves are produced. Bagasse is partially used as a fertilizer component in cattle food and in some biotechnological techniques. Meanwhile, agave leaves are less used. Dr. Carmina Montiel Pacheco, in collaboration with colleagues and strategical alliances, have found an innovative solution using recombinant technologies, since from agave leaves, around 120,000 tons of fructans are available each year. Through hydrolyzation, fructans can become either fructose or fructooligosaccharides. From both molecules, it's possible to produce other added value products such as adulterants and probiotics. In order to do so, an enolase or beta-1,2-fructohydrolase has to act in a rich agavine medium. Through investigation, Dr. Montiel and her team started working with a recombinant form of inuiso tree cloned in P. capestoris and have thus found that it's a dimeric. It has a molecular weight of 259 kilodaltons. It's glycoside, meaning it has sugars attached to their structure. Inagavine has a maximum reaction temperature of around 50 degrees Celsius and an optimal pH of 4.5, a key aim of 4.1 plus minus zero point 0.4, and an 80% yield. The complications within this project are not to prove how useful it can become, but in the escalation process, which is why this work will be focused on the production and purification of the enzyme in a trial level, since it's currently produced in Erlenmeyer flasks. The enzyme is released into the media, which is why after harvesting the high-density counter of Pipistrellus cultured with an agavine carbon source, it will be centrifuged at 10,000 rpm and 4 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes to separate biomass and supernatant. It will then be ultrafiltrated using tangential flow filtration with a molecular weight cutoff filter at 4,500 rpm and 4 degrees Celsius to remove unwanted components, concentrate, and desalt the sample. Then resuspended in a phosphate buffer of pH 7 and 50 micromolar. Finally, the sample will undergo immobilized metal affinity chromatography. A 200 micromolar nickel Zephyro speed column will be used. It will be washed 3 times with a buffer composed of 20 micromolar HIPS, 500 micromolar sodium chloride, 5% glycerol, 30 micromolar imidazole at a pH 7, and finally eluted with similar buffer with 500 micromolar imidazole concentration. Dr. Carmina Montiel previously mentioned that as a part of the genetic modification process, a polyhistidine tag was added to the enzyme, thus the IMAG technique and metal selection, due to the nickel histidine affinity. Finally, it's a purification process composed of seemingly few steps, allowing us to cut off expenses and simplify the process. In terms of viability, all techniques can be used at an industry level. However, a cost efficiency study must be made in order to determine whether the cost of the techniques and the profit made by the production of the enzyme would make this process viable overall. In terms of regulations, the first norm establishes regulations for culture media, while the second one establishes the requirements that must be met when working with heritaceous waste. Once the purpose of the enzyme is decided, international recommendations and local laws must be taken into considerations to abide with the purpose of its usage.